1967, Canada is celebrating its 100-year anniversary in strange and unique ways. Remember this song? You probably don't, Winston. Tom Hawthorn joins us with his book, The Year Canadians Lost Their Minds and Found Their Country, with some stories of the unique people that helped shape the post-Centennial Canada. And we're sort of going to do something a little different for this interview. I'm going to move over here with Tom, because we're going to school the millennial on the differences between our 150th birthday we're celebrating this year and the Centennial. So why do you say it's the year we lost our minds?
I think the Canada of 1968 is an entirely different place than 66. We invited the world to come to this national celebration, coast to coast. The world came, they liked it. We liked having the world here. Next year, we decide we're going to take a flyer on a new politician named Pierre Trudeau, father of the current Prime Minister, sexy guy, intellectual. Before 1967, I don't think people would have thought that's Canada. But afterwards, we did. And the entire country changed. We invited the world. We're different, much different place now than we were before Centennial.
I was going to say that video we just played coming in, it looked like a commercial for Disney or something. Like, take a look at this brand new land.
That was Expo 67 in Montreal. The big
geodesic dome in the United States Pavilion, designed by Buckminster Fuller. So I was a little boy who grew up in Montreal, 7 years old. And I could, when you were downtown, they were building this stuff. You could see the geodesic dome for the United States Pavilion, and then you could see the British Pavilion in the distance. That's the Soviet Pavilion there. And it was like both Disneyland and Beatlemania were coming to Canada.
And Winston, I mean, the difference being is 150th birthday this year, Sesquicentennial. You know, people know it's happening, but it's not really getting much excitement. But everything we did in 1967 revolved around the Centennial, and that's why you have Centennial parks everywhere, you have Centennial arenas everywhere, Centennial window washing, Centennial
schools, cafes.
So are we going to see Sesquicentennial arenas?
It doesn't sound the same, does it?
No, it's not the same. And the one thing I was saying earlier is I noticed a lot of the 150 celebration that we're seeing around everything nowadays is around marketing. So, you know, you go to the store and it's everything celebrating Canada's 150th birthday. And it just almost seems like a marketing ploy than anything. I don't see much about the history and about the people who have made and shaped Canada today.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. That seems to be the case. 50 years ago, the problem was that Canadians didn't think much. We didn't hear much about Canada in other media. Hardly were on American television, weren't in American movies. We played a big role in the Second World War, but the books were written by British and American historians, so we weren't referred to. So Canada kind of had a backseat to the world until 67.
And we had some wacky ways of celebrating, too.
So the individual, so Expo 67 is the thing everybody remembers, but individual Canadians took it upon themselves to do things. There's a guy in the book, a fellow named Hank Gallant, walks across Canada, Victoria to St. John's, Newfoundland. He's a laborer from Prince Edward Island. He just decides he wants to see the country, and he makes it all the way across.
We have a UFO landing pad that is because of the Centennial, huh?
Really?
Come on.
That's cool. So, 1867, or sorry, 1967, the 100th was not 1867. Was
not that old. Yes. There's two of us, Winston.
To get the brand out there, and now for 150, where does that conversation need to lie to make it relevant for millennials?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. I wrote the book for my two kids who are millennials to let them know how Canada had changed. I think we should be having a conversation, where do we go next? I think Canada has a lot to offer the world. We don't have a lot of violence here. We're a good country. What do we have to share with the world?
That's such a good point, Winston, because in 1967 we did ask that question. All right, where do we go from here? What do we do now? How do we build on this legacy? There's not really much of a legacy to build on so far in the 150th, other than the fact you can buy red and white tulips.
Yep.
That's about it.
And technology, too. We've got a big story there with Waterloo and a lot of developments and innovation.
The year Canadians lost their minds. Tom Hawthorn, the Centennial of 1967. Pick it up now. We have all the details at breakfasttelevision.ca.